My name is Anya. I am not just any ordinary being. I am a Krell, a race known for our mastery over energy and light. At least that's what he calls me. The General, a man from Earth, a place that exists only in the whispers of my kind. He, being the General, a man of Earth, a place my kind only whisper about. I shouldn't be here. Earth is forbidden, a realm of chaos and danger, or so I've been told. Father, the Supreme Commander, forbids it. His word is law, and his authority is absolute. Earth, he says, is a cesspool of chaos, their inhabitants primitive, dangerous, a place unworthy of our attention or presence. Father, with his gleaming scales and booming voice, rules our world. His presence is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. We are the Krell, masters of energy, of bending light to our will. Our technology is unparalleled, our society disciplined. We are taught discipline, control. Yet, I yearn. I yearn for something more, something beyond the sterile perfection of our world. Yearn for the unknown, for the stories whispered by rebellious drones, tales of Earth, a world of vibrant greens and blues, not the sterile silver that cloaks our cities. A world teeming with life and unpredictability. My room, a shimmering prism, mocks me with its cold beauty. It is a cage, albeit a beautiful one. I stare at the swirling nebula projected on the wall. Earth, a tiny jewel in its heart, a distant dream almost within reach. Father is wrong. I feel it. Deep within my core, I know there is more to Earth than what he says. I have to see it for myself, to experience the world that has been kept from me, to feel the warmth of a sun I can't control, to breathe air that isn't manufactured, to walk on soil that isn't synthetic. One night, while Father attends a summit, I make my choice, the decision that will change everything. Using his own technology, I cloak myself, a shimmering blur, and slip away. The pull of the unknown, an irresistible siren call. Earth, here I come. The adventure of a lifetime awaits. Father will not stop me. He cannot. My destiny lies beyond the stars, on a world I've only dreamed of. The journey is a blur. Time loses meaning in the void. Excitement morphs into fear, a knot in my stomach. What am I doing? Father will be furious. But I push on, the image of Earth, a beacon in the darkness. Entry into Earth's atmosphere is rough. Alarms blare, red light bathes the cockpit. I manage to land the craft, a bit too roughly, in something called a cornfield. The craft's diagnostics report minimal damage. Good. I step out, the alien corn towering over me. The air is heavy, humid, unlike the recycled air of home. It smells alive. The sky is a brilliant blue, the sun a warm caress on my skin. This is Earth, and it is beautiful. Fear recedes, replaced by wonder. I explore, my senses overwhelmed. The colors, the sounds, so different from the sterile, controlled environment I'm used to. This is what I craved, what I risked everything for. I spend days exploring, marveling at Earth's wonders. I encounter creatures unlike anything back home. Small furry things called cats that hiss and arch their backs. Larger, slobbery creatures called dogs that bark and chase after things they can't catch. Humans, though, are everywhere. I observe them from a distance, their strange, fleshy forms both fascinating and frightening. They are so loud, their emotions worn on their sleeves. One day I make a mistake. I reveal myself to a group of children, thinking their innocence would make them accepting. I am wrong. Their screams, their terror haunt me. They see me as a monster. I'm forced to flee, their cries echoing in my ears. That night, hiding in a forest, I learn a valuable lesson. Earth is not ready for me. My arrival, my very existence is a threat. The fear in those children's eyes reflects the wider fear of the unknown that grips this world. My initial wonder is replaced by a chilling realization. I am not just a visitor, but a fugitive. The humans are searching for me, their primitive machines surprisingly effective. The news calls me the Enigma, the Silver Phantom. I am a mystery, a threat to their world order. I learn to adapt, to hide in plain sight, mimicking their clothing, their mannerisms. It's a poor imitation, but enough to avoid unwanted attention. I even managed to acquire a device they call a mobile phone, allowing me to access their information network. They call it the Internet, a fitting name, for it is a web, vast and tangled. The more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. Human history is a tapestry of conflict, of brilliance and barbarity. They are a species of contradictions, capable of great love and terrible cruelty. And yet there is a vibrancy here, a raw energy that we Krell, for all our technological prowess, lack. Section 5. A General's Dilemma. The general is a man of war, a seasoned veteran who has faced countless battles. He's seen the darkest corners of the human heart, the horrors men inflict upon each other, and the devastation that follows. He's a soldier, trained to compartmentalize, to make the hard decisions that others cannot. Yet nothing in his extensive training could have prepared him for her. He first saw her image on a grainy satellite feed, a fleeting glimpse that would change everything. A shimmering figure moving with impossible speed and grace, unlike anything he had ever seen. Then came the reports. Strange lights, unexplainable occurrences that defied all logic. The world was on edge, teetering on the brink of panic as fear began to spread like wildfire. His mission, find her, neutralize her before fear tipped into chaos and anarchy. He'd expected a monster, a threat to humanity. Instead, he found a girl. Lost, scared, more curious than malicious, she was not what he had anticipated. He'd seen her fleeting glimpses, always a step ahead, always just out of reach. Once he'd cornered her, only to find himself staring into those silver eyes, pools of fear and something else, loneliness, vulnerability. He let her go. He couldn't explain why. Now, looking at the latest reports, he feels a familiar tug in his chest. Not fear, not duty. Something else entirely, something that makes him question everything he thought he knew about duty, about war, and about himself. Section 6. A bridge between stars. We meet by chance in a place they call a library, a repository of human knowledge, a testament to their thirst for understanding. He finds me amongst the towering shelves, my face buried in a book about human astronomy. I can sense him studying me, his gaze intense yet not unkind. "You're even more remarkable up close," he murmurs, his voice low, a rumble that sends a shiver down my spine. I freeze, unsure how to react. He knows who I am, what I am. He must. Yet he hasn't raised an alarm. "Why?" I whisper, my voice barely audible. He takes a step closer, his eyes never leaving mine. "Because," he says, his voice softening, "you're not what they think you are. You're not a monster. You're just lost." And in that moment I know I'm not alone. Section 7. Whispers of Dissent. His name is James Pierce. He tells me about his life, his world, about the beauty and the ugliness, the triumphs and the failures. He speaks of his daughter, her laughter, her love for the stars. I tell him of my own world, of the Krell, our cold efficiency, our stifling order. He listens, truly listens, a rarity amongst his kind. He doesn't judge, doesn't fear. He understands. He sees the loneliness behind my silver eyes, the yearning for a connection in a world that shuns me. Our meetings become more frequent, stolen moments in quiet cafes, hushed conversations in moonlit parks. He tells me of the growing dissent within his own ranks, of those who see me not as a threat but as an opportunity for contact, for understanding, a bridge between two worlds. Section 8. The Choice. James's superiors learn of our encounters. He is branded a traitor, accused of fraternizing with the enemy. I am given an ultimatum: leave Earth or face the consequences. I know what that means. Capture, imprisonment, perhaps even dissection. The thought of leaving James, of abandoning the fragile hope we've built together, is unbearable. But the thought of him suffering because of me is even worse. We meet one last time, at our bench in the park. The air is thick with unspoken words, the weight of our decision pressing down on us. He takes my hands in his touch sending a jolt of warmth through my body. "You have to go," he says, his voice rough with emotion. "I can't let them hurt you. Go home, Anya, and when the time is right, when your people are ready, come back. We'll be waiting." Section 9. A legacy of love and courage. My departure is as sudden as my arrival. The stars blur past as I leave behind the only home I've ever known. I leave a message for James, a promise whispered into the wind, a promise that transcends time and space. I will return, one day, when the stars align and the universe deems it right, when the fear has subsided, when the two worlds are ready to bridge the gap, when love conquers all barriers. The journey home is a blur of sorrow and determination. Each star we pass is a reminder of the distance between us. Father is furious, but even his anger cannot mask the relief in his eyes. He feared for my safety, yet he understands my heart. He confines me to quarters, but the experience has changed me, ignited a fire in my soul that cannot be extinguished, a fire for change, for unity. I learn that James has been discharged, branded a traitor, yet hailed as a hero by others. His bravery echoes through the corridors of power. He speaks out against the fear, advocating for peaceful contact, for understanding. His voice is a beacon in the darkness. He carries our story, our message of hope, to a world teetering on the brink of chaos, a world in desperate need of our love. And I, Anya, the alien girl who dared to dream of a forbidden love, I wait. I wait with hope in my heart and stars in my eyes. I wait for the day our worlds will meet, not in fear, but in hope. The day when love will guide us to a new dawn. The day James's dream, our dream, becomes a reality where love and courage are the true legacy. A legacy of love and courage, spun across the vastness of space. A legacy that will inspire generations to come.